Hello students, our next topic is keywords in Python. So according to the name keywords, the keys who made up with words. We use keywords to find out something in Google search engine. Same as keywords are different from variable names because of keywords are reserved word used by Python interpreter to recognize the structure of a program. So again I repeat that keywords are the reserved words used by Python interpreter to recognize the structure of program. And if we define any variable name and that is like a keyword, so it shows an error. So as these words have specific meanings for interpreter, they cannot be used as variable names or for any other purpose. For checking displaying the list of keywords available in Python, we have to write the following two statements: import keyword and then print keyword dot kw list, means keyword list. When we type this, we can show the list of Python keywords are written here. As you can see, there are not too vast library of keywords. It is limited: false, none, true, and, as, assert, break, class, continue, def, del, elif, else, except. Finally, for, from, global, if, import, in, is, lambda, non-local, not, or, pass, raise, return, try, while, with, and yield. These are the keywords which are reserved for the Python interpreter to understand the structure of a program. After keyword, the next topic is expression. It is also very important that an expression is a combination of value, that is constant, variable, and operators. So there are three values: constant, variable, and operators. So it generates a single value which by itself is an expression. Operands contain the values and operator uses, and operators are the special symbols which represent simple calculations like addition, subtraction, and multiplication. So here we can see the expression. So you can see here value oblique operations 2 plus 2. Here 2 and 2 are the value or operands and plus is operator. So you can see the expressions and the values. Then converting mathematical expressions to equivalent Python expressions. This is also very important topic. For doing calculations in mathematics, we can change the mathematical expressions into Python expressions. So then we can do calculation in Python also. So the mathematical expressions that we use in algebra are not used in the same manner in computers. In maths, you use different operators for mathematical calculation. On the other hand, Python as well as other programming languages requires different operators for any mathematical operations. So some examples are given, like algebraic expression 6b means operation being performed 6 times b. It means 6 multiplied with b. So in mathematics we write 6b, but in programming we must write 6 asterisk b or 6 multiplied with b, same as 3 into 12 or 4xy means 4 times x times y. When converting some algebraic expression to programming expressions, you may have to insert parentheses that do not appear in the algebraic expressions as shown in the table given below. So here are algebraic expressions which have parentheses, but in Python statement parentheses is not. So again you may have to insert parentheses that do not appear in algebraic expression as shown in the table given below. But in Python expression we must provide parentheses whenever it is necessary. In the all above examples of expressions, the most important element used is the operator, which we will discuss now. Operator means the sign which is used for calculations. So here let's see what are the operators. So operators are special symbols which represent computation. So we can see here in our expression there are lots of operators, like here assignment operator, that is equal to, and multiplication operator is asterisk, and increment operator is plus. So plus operator, minus operator, so these are the special symbols and which represent computation. So they are applied, operators are applied on operands which can be values or variables. So operands can be value or they can be variable. Some operator can behave differently on different data types. Operators when applied on operands form an expression. So when operators applied on operands it form an expression. Operators are categorized as arithmetic, relational, logical and assignment. Value and variable when used with operators are known as operands. So value and variables are known as operands when we use them with operator. Here some mathematical operators are arithmetical operators are given. So a number of operators are available in Python to form and solve arithmetic or algebraic expression. So we can see here symbol, description and example 1 and example 2. So all the example you must solve in your Python shell or your PyDrive Android operating system, or you can also use Python compiler in your mobile. So here plus symbol for addition, minus symbol for subtraction, asterisk symbol for multiplication and then forward slash symbol for division. Same as that algebraic expression. Here percentage sign is used for remainder or modulo. So when let's see the example, when we divide 17 by 5 we get 2 as a reminder. Then double multiplication sign used for exponential means 2 double multiplication sign and 3 means 2 to the power 3, and that will provide us 8. Same as 16 to the power 1 by 2 means under root 16 and it will be 4. Double multiplication or double forward slash operator used for integer division. It means it gives us the whole number, not a fractional part of number. So for example here given then addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, integer division, modulus, exponential and exponential. So you must do these things in your Python shell, or you can use script mode. You must use script mode for this, so that all the print statement will run in a single run command. Then concatenating strings. So strings can be added together with plus operator, and to concatenate the string hello Python give the statement using concatenation operator plus. So here we can use plus sign for adding two strings. So hello and plus Python. So plus operator add both string and it gives us hello Python as a result, as a output. Now our next topic is unary and binary operator. So an operator can be termed as unary or binary depend upon the number of operands it takes. So again I repeat, an operator can be termed as unary or binary depending upon the number of operands it takes. So the unary operator takes only one operand as a binary operator takes two operands. For example, in the expression minus 6 multiplied with 2 plus 8 minus 3, the first minus is a unary minus and the second minus sign is a binary minus, because of first minus sign have only one operand and the second minus sign have two operands. So first operator is called unary operator because of it has only one operand, and the second minus sign called binary operator because of it has two operands. The multiplication and addition operators in the above expressions are binary operators. So here multiplication and addition are binary operators. You can see that in this expression multiplication and plus sign both are binary operator. Now let's see the precedence of arithmetic operators. So parenthesis, then exponential, then negation, then division or integer division. So precedence of arithmetic operators, that how can, just like board mass we learned in our school education our maths education, same as the precedence of arithmetic operators are given here, that it's first did parents first solve the parenthesis Python first solve the parenthesis, then it solve exponential, then negation, then division or integer division, then multiplication, and at last addition, and then after subtraction. It shows in here in decreasing order. So more examples for arithmetic operators. Evaluate the following expression. So use Python shell to evaluate all the expressions. So it's solved here. So you can see and understand them. Then our next operator is relational operator. Relational operators are used for comparing two expressions. When we compare two expressions, then we use relational operators and the result is in either true or false. In an expression comprising both arithmetic and relational operators, the arithmetic operators have higher precedence than the relational operators. So arithmetic operators have higher precedence than the relational operator. So here we can see expression, then comparison operator, then expression 2. So here we check two comparisons, we check two operands by using relational operator. Here there are some relational operators. First is less than sign. Less than sign is used to check the whether condition is true or false. So 7 is less than 10. Here we can see that 7 is less than 10 and this is right, so it gives us true. But when we check that 7 is less than 5, so it gives us false. Same as 7 less than 10 less than 15 true, and 7 less than 10, and we also use AND operator, then 10 less than 15 is also true. After less than, the greater than sign. So greater than operator is used for checking two numbers, that which is one is greater. Then less than or equal to. So less than or equal to operator used for checking two conditions, and that either first operand is less than or it will be equal to the second operands. So according to condition, if condition satisfied, it gives us true. If not satisfied, it gives us false. Same as greater than equal to, then not equal to. For not equal to, we use this sign. You can see here, this is not equal to. So we can use not and equal to, or we can use less than, greater than, both sign. So the same meaning, and it gives us also true and false as a result. Then after equal to, so equal to sign is used for checking that this is perfect equal to or not. Just like 10 equal to 10 means 10 is exactly equal to 10, and 10 equal, it gives us true, but when we check 10 equal to 11, it gives us false, because of 10 is never equal to 11. Same as we can also solve the second example. So you must check all the operators by doing these examples, by solving these examples in your Python shell. So here some examples are given. You can check less than, greater than, and everything. Then when the relational operator is applied to strings, strings are compared left to right, character by character, based on their ASCII codes, and also called ASCII values. ASCII codes or ASCII values are actually full form of ASCII is American Standard Code for Information Interchange, and every character and every number has a unique ASCII code. So print hello, then less than or less than hello, and then reverse the result. So here less, because of in first line print hello in this line, because of first hello, h in first hello string is in is lowercase and in second string is uppercase, so that it provides us false. So when the relational operators are applied to string, strings are compared left to right, so it's starting comparing from left to right, and when we check hi is greater than hello, so it's give us true. Here the ASCII value of hello is small letter is more than the capital letter or uppercase letter, therefore hello is less than hello is false, but hi is greater than hello is true. Now come to the next point. Here something was given that Python starts by comparing the first element from each sequence. It starts comparing the first element from each sequence. If they are equal, it goes to the next, or if they are not equal, so and so on until it finds elements that differ. Subsequent elements are not considered even if they are greater. So there are three relational operators: or, and not. Sorry, these are not relational operators. Relational operators are these which relate less than, greater than, equal to, and other. And then after our or, and not are logical operators. So or is used if any one of the operand is true, then the condition becomes true. So when we provide there are two conditions and join both condition with or, so from both condition, if any one condition is true, then the conditions become true. Then next AND operator. So in AND operator both the operands must be true, then the condition becomes true, otherwise it will be false, and not reverse the state of operand condition. So here examples are given that print not true less than 25. So not true. Then print, here you can see the use of and, or, and not. When we give expression 10 is less than 25 and 5 is greater than 6, so here 10 less than 25 is true, but 5 greater than 6 is not true. So it gives us false because of both conditions are not true, and we used here AND logical operator. Then when we use OR operator between the same expression, then we get true values because of one of the two values must be true for OR operator. Then we use not 10 less than 25, it gives us false because of 10 is less than 25, it is a true statement, and we write here not 10 less than 25, so it gives us false because of we use not for a true statement. And if we use here 25 is here, let's change it to, it will be 59. Okay, so the condition is false, so it is written that 59 less than 25 is not true, so it is a right sentence or true, so it gives us true value. And when we write not 10 is less than 25, then in this expression we tell that 10 is not less than 25, so that it gives us false. And here we can see the precedence of logical operators. First not, then after and, then after or. These are the precedence of these three logical operators. After logical operators, the very important operator, there is shorthand assignment operators. Shorthand assignment operator or compound assignment operator, or can say that an argumented operator, is a combination of binary operation and assignment. Different argumented assignment operators available in Python are as follows. Okay, so we can use two operators, or we can use in shorthand assignment operators. One is addition, multiplication or subtraction operators with assignment operators. So when we join operators, we say that shorthand assignment operators. So we assume that the value of variable x is 12. For a better understanding of these operators, so let's see, plus or equal to operators. So we use x plus equal to 2, so that the value of x changes and it will be 14. So x plus equal to 2 means 2 will be added into the value of x. Then minus equal to, that means subtract and assign back the result to the left. So x minus equal to 2, then x will become 10. Then multiplication and assignment operator. So x multiplied equal to 2 means the value of x multiplied with 2. Then equal to is the value of x, so that x will become 24. Then dividend operator with assignment operator. So it will be provide x and dividend equal to 2, that means the value of x divided by 2, and x will become 6. Then x percentage 2, it means when we divide x with 2, the remainder will show here. So when we divide the value 12 with 2, we get remainder, we get 0 as a remainder. Then double multiplication equal to operator. So when we apply this, so x double multiplication equal to 2, then x to the power 2, and x the value of x is 12, so 12 to the power 2, then x will become 144. Then after perform floor division on operators and assign value to the left operand. So x double forward slash plus double dividend operator and equal to 2, then x will become 6. It means that the value of x divided by 2 and provide us as a whole number. So here some examples are given. A equal to a, then operator b is equivalent to, and a operator equal to b. So here a equal to 6, a equal to a plus 5, so a will become 6 plus 5 11, then print a, so 11 is printed. Then x a equal to 6 and a plus equal to 5, then print a. So in this step we also get 11 as the output. Some learning tips are given here. Same operator may perform a different function depending on the data type of the value which it is applied, and division operator behaves differently on integer and float values. So in integer values it gives us float or integer value according to the calculation or the operands. Then after user input, so input is a very important function, because of while writing a program we need to fetch some input from the user, and these values inputted by the user are fetched and stored in the variable. Just like if we want to calculate the result of the total percentage of any student, we must know the marks of that student in all subjects, and for this the in some program the marks are inputted by the student or user, then the program will calculate the percentage of that user. So let's see. Python provides three important functions for getting users input. So there are three functions for input. First is input function. Input function is used to get data from the user while working with the script mode. Okay, this function works only in script mode. Input function. So you cannot use input function in Python interactive mode. Let us see example. Simple example to fetch user's name and to display welcome message concatenated with username. The input function takes string as an argument during execution. Input function shows the prompt to the user and wait for the user to input a value from the keyboard. When the user enters values from the keyboard, input returns its value to the script mode. In almost all the cases, we store this value in a variable. So here, when the first statement of the above example executed, the user is prompted to enter his or her name. So here we can see name equal to input, enter your name and print welcome, then comma name. So name is a variable and that can hold the value input by the user, or that can hold the name of the user inputted by user. So when we run this program in our Python shell, we get enter your name. After entering the name, it will wait for entering the name from the user, then store that value into the variable name. Then after we give print statement, and inside the print function, welcome is a string and name is the variable. So welcome is shown, and then after the value of name is Sonia. Input function is not highly recommended by the programmer since it always accepts input in the form of strings and hence manipulates numbers as string only and does not generate the desired result. So for generating the desired result, we must define that the variable data type in here whenever we use input function. So here, for example, a program is given, and in this program we use input statement, input function, and calculate the result. So num1 is entered by the user, then num2 is also entered by the user. Then after result equal to num1 plus num2, then after it print the value of result. As shown in above figure, we are getting unexpected output on execution as per the program. The expected output was 70. So after adding the two inputted number 30 plus 40, but instead of we getting 30 40, which signifies that 30 and 40 are fetched as string and not numeric values, and hence plus will be act as a concatenation operator instead of mathematical addition operator. So you can see in this program we not define the type of num1 and num2, so that it treats the variable num1 and num2 as string, and when we add both number it gives us 30 and 40, not gives us 30 plus 40 equal to 70. That's why we use types of the variable. So here you can see num1 equal to int input into the first number and num2 equal to int input the second number. So when we write this statement, then it saves the value entered by the user as an integer and add both number and do calculation according to the qualities of integer. Hence we need to modify our program using another function int. So we need int so that Python interpreter can easily understand the type of that variable inputted by the user. Then next input function is eval. So eval function is used to evaluate the value of a string. So it takes a string as an argument and evaluates this string as a number and returns the numeric result. If a given argument is not a string or if it cannot be evaluated as a number, then eval results as in an error. So here we can see that the use of eval. So for example, a equal to eval and inside the bracket 15 plus 10, then we use print a. So output will be 15 plus 10 equal to 25. So here you can see the use of eval function. Eval 15. So 15 printed, 18, then 18, then value. So when eval 15 we give here, argument is not a string, so we must provide argument as a string. Means the arguments passed inside the eval function is quoted by is inside the quote, either in single quote or double quote. Then after, our next topic is user defined functions. Students, if you have any problem in any point, kindly pause or use, kindly pause and again here kindly pause and go to backward and again here the definition. Now user defined functions. So let's understand what is a function. So a function is a group of statements that exists within a Python for the purpose of performing a specific task. So as I use input function, as I use type function, or as I use print function, same as we can also create our own functions for performing any specific task. Instead of writing a large program as one long sequence of instructions, it can be written as several small functions and each one performing a specific part of the task. So let's see how to define and call function in Python. So here syntax is given. So define function name, then comma separated list of parameters, then description of that function, and point to remember that statements below def begin with 4 spaces. It is called indentation. It is a requirement of Python that the code following a colon must be indented. So we must use colon after defining the function, and also we must use indentation or the tab space whenever we use function or looping or conditional statements. Because of in Python there is not any brackets are used to define the area of that function or that loop, therefore we must use indentation. Now some practical implementation is here that define function, and in the function we define print I am learning function in Python. So here we can see that by using def keyword we define a function that the name of function is func1, and whenever this function will run, it print I am learning functions in Python. For calling the function we just write the function name and parenthesis, and it will give us the output according to that function. Then after practical implementation second, and in second practical implementation we define a function triangle, and whenever this function will run, it will show the output like this asterisk pattern. So here we can see when we run triangle function or when we invoke the triangle function, it gives us output according to that function. Then after one more practical implementation, and here this practical we create a function to compute the area of a triangle. So def keyword is used for defining the function. Then after name of function, and inside the function there are two parameters. First is length and second is breadth. So by using these two parameters, function can calculate the area. So inside the function, area equal to, after proper indentation, area equal to length multiplied with breadth, and it returns us area. So when we run this function, we can pass any argument, any parameter inside the, any argument, parameter when we define the function, and arguments when we run the function. So when we run the function, so you can see here, area rectangle 3020 is written. So here area rectangle 3020 is written. So 30 treats as a length and 20 treats as a breadth, so that the area of rectangle calculated, and it shows 600. Then after indentation in Python, so very important, because of if you will not do proper indentation in your program, it shows error. So Python follows a particular style of indentation to define the code. Since Python functions don't have any explicit beginning or ending like curly braces to indicate the start and the stop for the function, as in other programming languages we use curly braces for start and stop for the function, but Python don't have any explicit for beginning or end, so they have to rely on this indentation. That's why we use indentation. So indentation is shifting of the statement to the right of another statement. In Python, indentation is used to form suits. A suit is a group of statements which is treated as a unit. If a suit is indented with respect to its above statement, let us call it A. You can see here inside the A unit there are B, C, D, E and F, and inside the C unit D and E, and inside the A unit F is also. So this concept is used extensively in conditional statements and loops. The concept of indentation can be understood better with the help of the following figure. So you can see this is in this figure, A is a unit and B and C are inside A. Then again C is also a unit and C have D and E statements. Then after A have F also, then G statement at the same level of A. You can see B is under A and C is also under A at the same level as B, and so on. Then after practical implementation 4, here we again create a function, and this function will print I am learning function in Python, but it shows error because of we did not use proper indentation. So you can see also here that print function has been declared immediately below def, and hence it shows indentation error. When we do right indentation, it doesn't show error. Then after, next topic is tokens. So what are tokens? So a token is the smallest element of Python script that is meaningful to interpreter. Again I repeat that the smallest unit or smallest element of Python script that is meaningful to the interpreter. The following categories of token exist, like identifier, keywords, literals, operators and delimiters. Let's see what are identifiers. So identifiers are the name of variables, constant and functions. So by using these identifier we can identify them. Our module is called an identifier. Example of identifier are ABC, X12Y, India score 123, swap, etc. So it doesn't start with any number and it doesn't have any special characters between them or neither any space in between them. Then after keywords, these all are tokens like. So keywords, so the reserved words of Python which have a special fixed meaning for the interpreter are called keywords. No keyword can be used an identifier, so we cannot use the name of keyword as an identifier or as in the name of variable. The Python keywords have already been listed in the previous topic. So we saw at keywords topic at the starting of this video that what are the keywords in Python. Then literal. So a fixed numeric or non-numeric value is called a literal. Example of literals are 2 or -23.6 or ABC or independence. So fixed numeric or non-numeric values called literals. So whatever values in Python are fixed, that are called literals. Then operators. So a symbol or a word that performs some kinds of operation on given values and returns the result called operators. You can see here operators: plus, minus, exponents and dividend, etc. Delimiters. So this is the new word. Delimiters are the symbols which can be used as separators of values or to enclose some values. So here such delimiters are parentheses, curly braces, square brackets, comma, semicolon and colon. Then note. So hash symbol used to insert comments is not a token. Hash is not a token. Any comments itself is not a token. For example, here hash identify tokens in the script. So x equal to 68, y equal to 12, z is equal to x upon y, and print x, y, z are x, y, z. Here x, y, z print equal to dividend and numbers are token. So they are their category are x is identifier, y is oblique variable same as y and z. Then print is a keyword, equal to is a delimiter or operator, so equal to is assignment operator, not delimiter. Then dividend is operator. Then 68 because of it has a fixed value, so it is a literal. 12 is also literal, and x, y, z are, that is inside the quote, are also literals. Now let's understand comments. So comments are statements in a script that are ignored by the Python interpreter and therefore have not reflect on the actual output of the code. So whatever comments we write in our program, it will not show on the output of the code. Comments make the code more readable and understandable for human beings. This makes the revision or modification of the code easier by the original author of the code and also by some new author who has been assigned the responsibility to modify it. Because with the help of comments, any programmer or the author of that program can easily understand that what codes written below the comments are used for which purpose. So here hash is used. So again revise, comments are not necessary in a script, but these are highly recommended if the script is too complex or if it is to be reviewed by multiple people over an interval of time. The definition of comment: that a comment in Python starts with a hash symbol and anywhere in the line and extends till the end of the line. The following codes contain two single line comments. First is hash, this is a single line, and then again y equal to x plus 100, then hash value of x plus 100 is assigned to the variable y, then print y. Then some memory bytes are given, so read them. After memory bytes, some solved questions. You must write these all questions and memory bytes in your notebook. After this solved questions, there are some unsolved questions. So I will describe or I will solve these unsolved questions in our next video. Thank you.